Welcome to the Sanity Project podcast, the place for techies and non-techies who work in the techie world whose work-life balance plan has imploded. We're here to provide solutions that will help both the techie and non-techie live a sane, healthy, and prosperous life. Here's your host, Joanne Victoria.
Hi, this is Joanne Victoria with another episode of the Sanity Project podcast. This podcast is a platform for experts in the personal development and tech communities to share their wisdom, expertise, and solutions that will help the pro live a sane, healthy, and prosperous life. In my original work, I said that I wanted people from this world of spirituality, the spiritual world, and I've had a few, and now we're expanding the spiritual world with the arrival of Christy Warnick. Christy Warnick is a spiritual, intuitive, and energy healer. Christy is a true believer in miracles. She believes that anything is possible, and she helps people to transform their lives for the better. She brings that energy and intention with her into each session, along with what is for the highest and best good by connecting with the highest source, that's with the capital S people, and other divine beings. Each session is different and custom designed for you because everyone is unique in their own way. As each session is unique for Christy, this podcast episode is unique as well for the listeners. What Christy is going to touch on today is energetically healing thought forms, trauma, karma, and more while learning to live a better life with purpose. So welcome to the show, everyone, Christy Warnick.
Thank you for having me, Joanne. So happy to be here.
I'm glad you are here. I searched for you, and I connected with your energy. Whoever's listening, just listen to the words and how you feel about it. Don't get attached to anything. But I connected with you after I researched, 5 or 6 that were presented to me. And it was like, no, click, no, click, no, click, no, click. Then, she understands, so that's why you're here. So how can you help people with energetically healing thought forms and trauma, Christy?
All right. So a lot of people, when it comes to all of these things, what do they have in common? These things have in common that they are the past. They are from the past. They were created in the past, or maybe even inherited. That happens. And so what if, because I love asking what if questions because it puts out there so many possibilities. And what if you could heal the past by healing the present without revisiting the past? What if you could heal yourself now just by it happening more automatically? Because that's where we're at now. So much has changed. I know that when I have helped my clients over the past few years, I went through a lot of the different techniques and modalities and different ways in which I learned to heal myself. And it's so different now. Just like we were talking right before the show about how things in the previously took a lot longer, and we were constantly asking, what is an easier way? Well, what if you were presented with that the easiest way at that time more consistently and just advancing in that way? Because that's where we're at. Things are changing so quickly, and we can keep up with that, and things can happen more easily and automatically, and that's what happens in sessions with me.
So So you're saying that if people have a trauma and their soul is damaged, let's just use that, and their soul and their body and their thoughts are damaged and they're not clear enough for them, they do not have to go back to the situation that occurred, that they think that occurred, that made them feel this way.
Right. Some people choose to revisit the past. They want to tell their story so that they can heal, and that's fine for those people. But some people, they like to let's just get right to it. I'm choosing to heal this, and how can I do that? I really don't remember the past, or I really don't want to revisit it. Well, we're to the point now where things shift so easily and even instantly because everything is energy. Everything is energy, and everything can shift very quickly. And it might just be a new perspective. I love offering people in sessions a different perspective. And this can heal all of these things. Yes, I can go in and help find these things, these individual thought patterns and forms, and the traumas, the karma, when it happened, where it happened, how it happened. Yes, that's absolutely possible. I'd go in and just check energetically and see where that is, see what I'm guided to with that. But a lot of these things can shift so easily without revisiting them.
So for people who are unfamiliar with how spirituality, how intuitive energy healers work, could you give a little brief précis on the process?
Well, for me, because I know there are others out there that do things differently, but for me, I connect in with that highest source. That's God, source, creator, the universe, whatever is, I check with each person, what is it that you're comfortable with? What do you believe in? And so that's what I connect in with. I found that I am constantly or consistently connected in. I believe that we're all connected. It's just any way that we don't feel connected is just things that can be kind of cleared away. But because I believe so much that anything is possible, and I leave open this window for myself for all these possibilities, it really does help, because everything is energy, we can tap into, when someone comes to me for a session, I have their permission too. So a lot of times that's just an opening for me, is to get permission from that person, and I can just check in with God, source, creator, whatever you want to call that. For me, it is God. And I just check in, and I use divine muscle testing. So I can use muscle testing and use my hands or my fingers, but I also get just the intuition, just direct the claircognizance. People call it, that divine knowing. Mm-hmm. I have that comes in, the clairvoyance comes in, I'll see images, I'll get information. I'm guided to words or phrases or information, and things come in many different ways for me, but I'm able to check in even and get really specific with things, but I found that that's no longer necessary to get really specific with things, that they can shift and change so quickly and easily. I had a client last week even that she found me online. That's how, just like you found me. People feel like they are guided to me, and a lot of people, they find me on Facebook. They find me in many different ways, but almost always they will tell me that they were guided to me. They had asked for something, and all of a sudden I showed up somewhere for them to find me. And I was working with someone even just last week, and she felt drained. She felt like that self-care just wasn't there. She was spending a lot of time with her own clients, and she just really was looking for someone to help with whatever was going on. And just in one session, she said that she felt such a relief and so much more balanced and energetic, and she felt like she was like on a high at the end of it, but it felt really good, and grounded at the same time. And I have a lot of my clients, I was looking back through my testimonials before I came on here today, and I was like, you know what do a lot of these have in common? And there's several words that came up over and over again, which was peace. That was the main thing that I noticed on a lot of these, was peace and I see the word gentle came up a lot, and freedom. There's all kinds of just synchronicities with all of the testimonials and just with the people that I work with in general. And I'll ask them after just 20 minutes, 30 minutes, how do you feel? And a lot of them, so many of them will say, I feel peace. And how wonderful is that, just to have that peace?
Well, that's not only wonderful, it's part of my mission is to help people find more inner peace. And I've chosen the podcast as a way of introducing numerous people that help my listeners, my clients, my market to, expand their minds and hearts and souls. So in a briefly tell us what brought you to this work.
Yes, I was going through some health issues of my own, and I went through chiropractors, I went to medical doctors, I went to so many different avenues of medical attention to get that help, and it got to the point where they did not know what was going on. They were asking me, what do you want us to do? How can we help you? And I was like, you know what? I'm going to find a better way. And I went in search of energy healers because I had explored all other avenues, even herbal supplements and, like I said, chiropractic, medical doctors, all different varieties of medical doctors. And I always encourage my clients to definitely seek out that medical attention first, if that's what they feel guided to. But when they get to the point where they run out of options, that's when a lot of people, they find me, or it just doesn't resonate with them to deal with whatever it is going on with them specifically. But for myself, like I said, I was just at an end to what I could do. And so I was like, okay, I'm going to go and find. So I worked with many energy healers. And after I went through so many for like a year or two, or maybe even more, I realized that I was learning so much from all of these different techniques and modalities. So I started getting certified in a lot of different techniques and modalities, and now I've created my own. But you know what? I've found that I just take the best of everything, and I like to mix and match things. I'm an alchemist when it comes to that, and I love with transformation. But yeah, so my own journey has led me to, like I said, I just didn't know what else to do. And I found it. I found it through working with energy healing and healers and learning my own way and basically healing myself, because I believe that we all have that ability to do that, because we are all divinely connected anyway. And so it really is working with the divine and through the divine, and the divine working through us. And and I love helping people and teaching them how to help themselves as well. Because ultimately that's what I'm doing in the sessions, is teaching as well as helping in other ways too. But I loved that I learned the way that I did, but I know that there's easier ways to teach others now through my own experience.
So would you say you went from, let's say, pragmatic Western medicine to energy healing following your intuition?
Yes. I would say that when it comes down to, okay, I can continue this way, I felt like I was given a choice. Do you want to continue living or not? And I chose yes. I was like, yes, I'm going to find a way. So show me a way. And that's when I felt like I was guided to energy healing.
That's important for people to know. I, of course, am intuitive myself, and it's part of who I am. Once I discovered what intuition was several years ago, because I wasn't born knowing it, that it was even a part of me. And once I recognized it, I realized that more people needed to be aware of it. I've written a lot about it, and people who are listening need to know that they too can trust and use their own intuition. You have to be open to this, and you have to be open, certainly, to the work that Christy does, or people like her. It's you will either go for it or not, and you're neither right nor wrong, no matter what your choice is. But it is an opportunity for a different perspective, listeners, for you to look at the ways that Christy Warnick works and what she does and how it benefits her clients. So do you have a story about someone who came to you reluctantly and then you were able to help them?
Yes, there's been many that were skeptical about what would happen and what could happen. And there's several actually that came to me just not sure, but they knew that energy healing in some way, shape, or form, they were guided to it. They weren't sure if it was just to find out what it was or if it was actually going to work for them. And so I had someone came to me after going through medical doctors. Kind of a lot of people have gone through medical doctors and then got to the point to where they found out it wasn't really as much a physical issue as something else. And so I have a client that for the first time in years, they could actually, kneel down on their knees after just 2 sessions. Really, after the first session, they went on a walk that they hadn't been able to do in a long time. So they were able to move around and walk. And they also had one of their family members that had cancer, had a stage 3 cancer. It was an inoperable lung cancer. And I just leave it open to the divine, trusting and knowing that whatever divine intervention comes in during the sessions. But I actually worked with these clients, and after the sessions, though, they no longer had the issues. The lady that to do with her knees, they were healed. She went around showing all her friends how she could get down on her knees and kind of move around. And then her brother, he actually is cancer free. And like I said, it's about divine intervention, divine assistance, but working with different issues. Like him, I worked with for many months, but her, it was just 1 or 2 sessions. So it's different for everyone, but the results can be amazing.
So would you say that anyone that comes to you for a session, be it face-to-face or, by phone, etc., do they need to believe in God or Buddha or whatever in order to have benefits from what you do?
No. It's as long as they believe in the universe. I mean, they can have their own beliefs because it can be a universal energy. It doesn't have to be for them, God or whatever you want to call that. It works anyway. Just like if people know about Reiki, for example, because I'm a Reiki master as well. If you know about that, it's a universal energy. So it really can be universal. It doesn't have to be a certain religion or anything like that or belief there. It does help to kind of believe in that things are possible.
Okay.
That does help, but it's not a necessity because sometimes things can happen that will bring up these possibilities for you, or something will happen and that will make you believe, that will create a believer, And I love when things like that happen as well. I know people that have come to me for depression that no longer have depression. So we're getting to what you named the show there was the thought forms, the traumas, the karma. All of those can be resolved and healed and cleared, whatever's best there. And it can really shift and change people very quickly. But these can happen just through a conversation, or like I said, I work with actually pinpointing things sometimes for some people that actually want to know certain things, but it's not something that is necessary all the time.
So first, they have to trust you, I would imagine.
Well, I believe that there should be some level of trust there, but that's where you read back through the testimonials. I had people just even this week that posted on my Facebook page that they were so grateful that they found my testimonials because that gave them hope. Well, and I think so things like that just kind of show you what other people have experienced so that you can get an idea of how you feel with that.
Well, I think that for people who live in the logical mind 100% of the time, I would like to see them open up their eyes and look to the right a little bit and just be aware that they're not alone on this earth, that we're all here to help each other in whatever form that, the gifts we were given provide, and that this is about new possibilities. The things that are happening now in the outside world, with technology, for example, these things did not all come from the logical mind. A lot of it was gut calls, trusting their gut to move forward on a process, on an application, on a dream. I mean, even Jeff Bezos started his company on a dream. He had no idea. People poo-pooed him all the way, but this was energy poured into him to go forth and do what he thought was a good thing to do. So people who are listening who are, skeptical, and that's fine to be skeptical. I mean, but if you're skeptical, you don't know what you're skeptical about. To involve yourself and engage with people who are in energy healing, because if you don't believe that we are all energy, then you got to look and read some stuff to figure that out. Do you have any resources for people, or are they on your website that people can look at and understand what energy is all about?
I have on my website just about me, testimonials, things about my sessions, but there's not actually the actual resources there. I do recommend, I always tell people that Google is your friend.
Absolutely. I love Google.
Really look up things, but to really have discernment though. Okay? So it's really seeing what feels right for you when you're reading about it and being open to those possibilities. And you mentioned people having dreams and those coming into reality. I'll share with you just briefly a dream that I had that really keeps me going. And it's just a very short dream, or it's really a vision that I received. And I did get the information that it was going to become my reality, but so I'm walking on a sidewalk, and there's a little boy that comes up to me. He looks like he's between maybe 8 or 9 years old, and I still can picture the boy now. And he just comes up to me, and we don't even speak. He comes up to me and looks up at me, and is almost like telepathically he's asking me to help. He's got some kind of health something going on with his maybe physical health or something. And he just looks up at me, and we have this kind of like a mental conversation where it's just like he's asking me for help, or he's just gives me his permission in that moment. And he just, after that, he just starts smiling. And it's almost like he gives me a hug, but I don't actually see that part, but I see him smiling. I can see his smile, and I see him turn around and walk away. And it's almost like he looks so much lighter and brighter when he's walking away. So there was that communication that went on between us, and that he was just healed in that moment. And that's what keeps me going. That's one of the many things that I had that vision, and I knew that I was on the right path.
And for those of you wondering how that exchange could be with an 8-year-old or a 9-year-old, a little child, and what traumas this little boy might have had, he might have brought them in to him when he was born. He might have inherited them from his entire genealogy. So age is not relevant in this. It's not relevant at all. What is relevant here is that this is another opportunity for those of you who are listening to be healed, to find more inner peace, and to start working with your own energy. So where can people reach you, Christy? Where and how?
Yes, very easy. ChristyWarnick.com. So if they look up my name and put .com at the end of it, you'll find me on the website there. And also I have a Facebook page, which is Christy Warnick. There's a dash and it says Spiritual, Intuitive, and Energy Healer. Or it's Facebook.com/Christy Warnick1, the number 1 there. And I have a YouTube channel. I have all of this information. It's all on my website, though. All the links and everything they can find there.
Okay, so that's Christy, Christy, Warnick, WARNICK.com. I always like to spell things out because everybody's got their own way of writing things. Well, I'm grateful that you were here today, Christy, because this is important information that people need to hear. They need to understand that you, not only you, but you and they as well, bring in energy. Wherever you go, you are energy. Whether you're working, whether you're taking a bath or a shower, whether you're vacuuming the house, whether you're giving birth to a child, no matter what you're doing, you're energy, and you know how things can change when the wrong energy walks into the room. When I say wrong, I mean negative. And ChristyWarnick.com will help you. Thank you so much for being here, Christy, because this has been a great tutorial for your work and for people to find another way from the Western medical aspect to heal themselves of whatever trauma they have or that they think they have.
Yes. Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. I greatly appreciate it. And I want to tell everybody who's listening, if you want to chat with me about anything you heard or read on all of my daily emails, my blogs, my podcasts, you could reach me at my website at askjoannevictoria.com. There are several free items that you can have as well as reasonably priced products, and all my books. All of my 7 books are also on my website. That's Joanne Victoria, askjoannevictoria.com, and askjoannevictoria@gmail.com. And have a great day, everybody. Take care. Bye.
I hope you enjoyed this episode of the Sanity Project podcast. Please go to askjoannevictoria.com to listen to more podcasts and get a free copy of her report, 5 Steps to Achieve Work-Life Balance. That's askjoannevictoria.com. Take care, and thanks for being here.